でしょ。でもキラキラしたものを持ってたら飲み込まれちゃうんで気をつけてくださいね。そうなったら戻ってこないかもしれませんから。なめないでください。流れて行け、蒼月よ、永遠なる失策です。ご助力を。読めた。笑いをもって葬り去りました。
さあ謎を解こう。浄土丸裸にしてやろう。
震えてるじゃない。極寒のせい？それとも恐怖？打ち続けて。移して。加速します。加速します。加速します。警告。いやっはっ。氷の徐行の王位は邪魔させない。絶縁症。そこ流れて通い月を支え。これって散弾銃？絹のような弱さに救済はいらない。いらないの。 この同点。同点について。星と神。無事今日の依頼。星と深淵。みんな揃ってるな。ちょうどよかったぜ。
これでようやく一段落だね。話すべきことは今のうちに全部はっきりさせときな。会場を出た後の揉め事にはボイニッチ商会は一切責任を持たないからね。
そうね。リーユエ方面への被害は深刻ではないし。
感謝する。書類の処理を考える。それからお前についてだが、お前はボイニッチ商会の人間だ。私が
ならどうするんだい、シュブルーズさん。
少し前、犯人を追跡する過程でナシャタウンに設置されていた見本市の広告看板を
ほう、
そこで提案がある。彼の連行を
交渉せ。
もっとこじれるかと思ったけど、
おじさん、僕たち
おじさんのことはお姉ちゃんたちから
でも俺
もしお前が奴らのことを軽々しく信じず、お前を受け入れてくれた旅団に私に言わせれば、お前の罪
I don't know.
は
Like,
研究したことなん
I
だ。
saw how they died, right? Like we saw one of the big ruin
仲間を守りきれ
raiders.
な
No,
かった
no. One of the like. It's like you could have left your weapons. It's like, yeah, but like it seemed like his research was all about like tricking existing machinery into doing their bidding, right? Because it was like, hey, cool, I tricked this robot into attacking this target. Cool. And then that's basically what we saw at that tribe, is that the flying ruin raider came in and shot up the place. So it's like, well, like what, he would have kept his own ruin raiders on hand? Like it's a little difficult to judge this, because we never really saw an actual weapon of his. The only thing we ever saw him do was manipulate a flying ruin raider, or flying, you know, one of those flying robots. I forget what its actual name was. Ruin Drake, I think, maybe? Or is Ruin Drake the elite boss? Either way, we saw him be like, you know, researching one of those flying robots, and even being like, oh cool, I was able to trick it into doing something. Then he got into a deal with them, talking about researching weapons, but we never actually saw a single weapon that he researched. And then when his tribe was attacked, it was another flying robot. So it's like, you didn't create the flying robots. They just already existed in the desert, and you were using them. So it's really, really hard to tell what like actual weapons were in play. Now, was it just used because it's simpler? Or it's like, oh, well, we need to destroy this village. You know what would make a lot of sense? The big flying robot. Like, obviously, it's going to be able to do a lot of destruction in a wide area. So we just assumed that was it. Maybe there were others. Maybe there were other people in the tribe. Maybe there, you know, other people from the enemy tribe that came in with other weapons as well. And so if the tribe had weapons, I don't know, like, it does beg the question of, like, even if they had weapons, would they have been able to fight the flying robot? I don't think so. It's able to attack in a wide area, and even if you had your own flying robots, like, they just cause destruction in a wide area. Like, you just had double the destruction. Now, maybe, you know, you could have pushed it back out of the village, so it's not destroying the village, and giving you time to evacuate, perhaps, but...
君の言う通りだ。
Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? There's nothing wrong with researching weapons. The problem was you gave it to a shady piece of shit who has no qualms, who then sold weapons to the enemy, right? If you had done your weapon research openly and just provided and made sure that the first people you armed were your own village, right? Then you would have been fine for the most part. Like obviously, yeah, maybe you would have had some people, you would have attracted more attention, but it's just because you tried to do this secretly and because you trusted someone who's clearly not trustworthy, right? Like you knew he wasn't trustworthy. Like when he first approached you, you yourself realized he wasn't trustworthy because he had gotten kicked out of the clan previously. It's like, so you trust an untrustworthy person because you want to do what you want to do. And hell, research, like, and you were doing weapons research before, right? Before he even showed up, you were still doing that. In your free time, you went off and did it, right? So it's like, you were able to do it without causing problems. The only problem that caused... Yeah, so it's just like... It's just because you want to do this thing and needed money, and so you're just like, well, fuck it, I get money for more research, fine, sure. I'll get in business, I'll get in bed with this person I clearly can't trust. So yeah, like if you had had more control over what you did, that's also kind of a weird sentiment, right? From now on, I will protect you with my life. What? Shouldn't you have, like, already decided on doing that already, like, before? Like, wasn't nothing, like, you adopted them, like, so you adopted them, you're like, well, I've adopted you, but I'm not going to protect you with my life. Although, I get what might have been in his mind, right? Because in his mind, he already wanted to get revenge on that dude, right? So he might have been like, well, my revenge is first and foremost, right? So and he was totally fine sacrificing himself to get his revenge. So he might have been like, okay, well, I'm going to take care of you guys until I can get my revenge, and then I'll be dead and you guys will be on your own. And now he's like, well, revenge, we gotten my revenge, so I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to raising you guys well.
私の方も公務が立て込んでいるから、これで失礼するわ。
さて、
彼女たちが俺を捕まえないとしても、俺は自分の目的で紹介に入った。評判を地に落とすところだったのに、本当に処分しないつもりなのか。
Honestly, he didn't really. Like, he said he ruined their reputation, but not really. Like, the only thing you really ruined their reputation with was the stealing, right? Stealing the prototypes from Beto. So, like, join the Voynich Guild with your own agenda? Yeah, no shit. That's pretty much everyone in the guild, right? Like, everyone has their own reason for joining. Having your own agenda is not a problem. But yeah, I mean, he used his authority in the guild to have access, to get access to Beto's weapons, which he then used for his own plans. Stealing, and of course, like, the idea is that everyone's coming here, going to the guild, and trusting them to house their goods while they attempt to sell them. So, by having one of the guild members basically steal from their clients is not good, obviously. Duh, it's not good. So, yeah, that's bad. So that's bad. But yeah, I mean...
あんたが嘘まみれだったのは分かってたさ。でも、砂漠が故郷だって言った時、実を言うと、私も砂漠を故郷と呼ぶ人間の一人、あんたの物語については旅人から聞かせてもらったが。
So this is a... I mean, I do get it, right? Because, like, if she punishes him, punishing him at this point would punish the children more, right? Because he's the only one who can take... well, I mean, I guess not really. I guess they could obviously take care of him in the meantime for whatever he does. But, I mean, like, he's in the guild. I guess they could just force him to work. And that's the thing, is that he might be punished, but not like jail or whatever. You know, it might just be like, okay, well, then you're just going to work for the guild. Like, you're going to do this or that for the guild.
本当に？
ただし、あんたは紹介の禁忌をいくつも犯した。
分かってる。
この子たちを連れて。
なぜだ？
私が物心ついた時から砂漠じゃ争いが絶えなかった。今のスメールは前とは大違いだ。
I mean, to a degree, yeah, because like there's always been endless conflict, but their tribe did live next to that oasis. For the most part, fine, right? Like they were still conflict, but they were able to beat them all back. So, and they lived peacefully. Now, the problem is, why is there endless conflict? Well, the endless conflict is the reason why there was peace around that oasis. Is that everyone needs fucking water and resources, right? The problem is that resources are really scarce in the desert, and they're not enough to feed everybody. So it's just like, yeah, no shit, there's going to be endless conflict. It's like, there's going to be endless conflict as long as there is limited water, limited food. You're always going to have people contending for that shit. So there is no glimmer of peace from what their tribe was. It's like, yes, why was their tribe able to be peaceful? Because they had water. They had an oasis. They had a relatively endless supply of water, so they didn't need to fight other tribes for it. And even still, they did to protect their own water. But that's basically what all the tribes are doing. They're finding water, protecting their water, or fighting for other people for their water, right? Like, that's why there's endless conflict. It's because there's limited resources and too many people. Now, I think the reason that there's a chance of peace now is because it does seem like the desert people have a much better relationship with the academy. I think the academy is loosening up and being a little nicer. So I think we've kind of started to broker a better relationship between the people, the rainforest people and the desert people. And as long as that relationship can thrive, you know, and more resources can flow into the desert, then there'll be less of a need to fight because people are able to satisfy their needs otherwise.
気持ちはありがたいが、これほどの年月が過ぎ、今さらテントを張り直したところでどうにもなりはしないさ。現実はどこまで。
それならお客様うちの商品は
モラさえあれば何でも買えると。
ドリーってすぐああやって客を呼び込むんだよな。可能ですわよ。じゃじゃーんご覧くださいましこの魔力に満ちた宝石。
She has such a great relationship with Alice. Like, she had a similar thing, a similar protection device that she used as part of, well, she didn't really use, we used it, but she had it. She had a similar thing given that she got from Alice in the Non-Cry storyline. She had this protection device, which we borrowed and gave to, was it Nefer? Did Nefer have it? It did save someone's life. I forget who we gave it to, though. But then it used up all the energy. I think Nefer helped negotiate for it. I can't remember who had it, though. Either way, yeah. But basically, it did 100% help. But then, like, here we have another thing that Alice gave. Like, anything that Alice has to be worth a fortune, right? Like, it has to be insanely unique because it's an object created by, like, one of the most powerful mages in the world. So how the hell is she able to get these things, right? Like, regardless of how good a relationship she has with Alice, these things would be priceless. Like, how is she able to afford them?
これさえ植えれば空さが吹き荒れる場所にも泉が湧いてオアシスを
Yeah, it's also kind of weird.
本物だね。
How does Alice make these things? And can she make more of them, right? Like, it's also like, based on what she said, like, this thing is quite priceless, right? Like, I mean, first of all, the fact that there's literally nothing else in the world that can do something like this makes it incredibly valuable in and of itself. But also, what it actually does, creating an oasis anywhere, is insane, right? Because that is the biggest resource contention in the desert is water. And you said you have a device that's just able to instantly make it no matter where you are. Like if every tribe had one of these, it would solve a lot of problems. Not all of them.
てこの宝石を私に託した魔女は、対価には子供たちの喜び、もっと稼げる売り方はいくらでも
Oh,
あ
I
るの
see.
です
So
け
she
れど。
knew that this was gonna happen, and so she gave it to Dory so she could give it.
断りませんわね。
I mean, okay, I guess that makes a little more sense. It's not like Alice is just giving her random shit. It's just that Alice knows that Dory's going to be at the location she needs to be to give us and our group the things that we need.
子供たちの喜び？それってなんもら？
そうですわね。あなたたち3人が見本市で稼いだ額の中からいただくというのはいかがかしら。そうすればそれは間違いなく喜ばしい
交渉制。
素晴らしいですわ。最後にこんなサプライズに出会えるなんて
今年の見本市は
Well, yeah, it's hard to predict it's hard to predict Dory because like this is not even really Dory. This is like Alice using Dory as a medium to give an insanely priceless thing. Now, of course, the crazy thing is you present this amazing, priceless artifact in the middle of a trade expo, almost exclusively populated with people in the underside of society. You know, this is like a black market society, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna really show off this priceless artifact that pretty much everyone's gonna want because it provides you free resources.
ドリーが見本市に来てるのはなんか想像。彼女は常連なんだ。しかも毎回クレームはあ。見本市ではルールに従ってお商売していますわ。こいつがどうしてクレームを入れられるの。あんたはクレームが来るたびいろんな理由をつけて買い手をお願いだ。せめて客全員が値に駆除。そうですわね。開業セールということでヤホダさんには5割引きして差し上げます。さらに今回の見本市ではクレームの数。そんなことでき。もうそれでいい。
Okay, so there's nothing, no more of that. I already did this one and this one. There's no more, like, okay, because I know there were, like, a variety of, like, oh shit, there's another event too, shit. Okay, so this, oh yeah, this is probably another cutscene.
リスラバじゃないか。オイラたちあいつ。
旅人さん、やっぱりここでは。
思い出話は後にしてくれ。残念なお知らせだけどあんたはこの展覧会で最初にクレームを受けた売り手だ。
どうして？こんなにこちらは廃棄寸前の銃です。ライフリングがすり減り弾薬も湿っている可能性があります。撃つ際に
カモフラージュのための隠語じゃなかった。隠語？闇市での慣例みたいなもんさ。表向きに売りにくいものは売り。考
えすぎよ。私は本当に廃棄品を処分しているだけ。買い手の祈りが届けばもしかしたら本当に数発くらいは。
ああ、わかっ。
廃棄寸前だけど威力は健在。使用者自身にも大きな脅威となる銃。いかにも。
そんなの誰が買うんだ。実用性を気にしない収集家か。なるほど。
Oh, Michael Fassbender's here. That's nice of him.
見本市
To have a nice
コーナーを設置するのは
cameo.
してない。万が一試飲したお客さんに何かあっても主催が。
ご安心ください。こちらはモンドの名手です。
本当か？こんなにと。
正規の貿易ルートではモンドのお酒なんて持ってくる間にあちこち。しかし私には独自のつてが。
本当か？
それは
分かってないな。
Yeah, there's no way in hell, even if you're able to like smuggle this shit, you can't get them from Mondstadt prices because the fact that it needs to travel any sort of distance means there's going to be additional costs incurred. At the very least, you'd need to cover the cost of getting the the wine here. So it can't be Mondstadt price. Mondstadt prices are the lowest because the cost of shipping from the winery is the lowest it can possibly be because of how short a distance it can be.
あれいや、はい。
あんた、この人のことまで知ってるのか？
そちらは見本市の責任。
ああ、そう
そうっす。
そう。まあ、いいか。今年。
そんな顔しなくても。見本市になら商品の潜在的な価値を見抜。
あんたがそう思うんなら。
どうすか？これを機に試してみません？実を言いますと、商品を仕入れるために。でも自分、今回の見本市で
Okay, so how many do I have? See, this is the weird thing. This is a check mark there. I don't see a check mark for any of these. Oh, I see, because there's other ones left. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, so there's another round. I went back to talk to Dory, and she didn't have anything else to say. And there's another round for these guys, too. Or is it... Oh, wait, he's in front of the... Oh, wait, no, right? I thought he was behind it before. I think he was. So then why... Why is there another round of cutscenes? But, like, I've done everything, you know? For the most part. Like, I haven't done this. So maybe I have to do more of the actual events? Okay, yeah, so... Maybe the... Or maybe I... Oh, wait, here's Jehoda.
Hmm? へえ。
一番厄介なパターン。ヤッホだ。お前何を見えてる。傘を差してる方はフォンテーヌの裏社会のお嬢様だ。分裂しかけた組織を艦隊をつけてる方はミーユへから来た傭兵の親玉だ。艦隊を指揮して実力者が2人いれば必ず争いが。もし衝突でもしてみろ。やあ、何話してるんだ？相棒、バイモン。相棒。
スピナディロースらのお嬢様もフォンテーヌ邸の決闘代理人も噂には聞いてる。たまたま通りかかっちょうどいいところに来てくれた。旅人の顔に免じ。
旅人の顔に免。
北斗さん、
実はな、あいつオイラたちの友達なんだけど。まさか。安心してって。
あたしらに手伝えることがあれば遠慮。
とにかくもう。あんたの人脈なんでそんな。
Interesting. So is that the thing I maybe needed to... Yeah, so that procced. So that was the next... Maybe that's it. Maybe I need to... Did that reset them all? Is now the second tier, or... Do I have to... Oh, here's your hood again. Okay, so maybe I have to do all the... Maybe I have to do all the second tier for the main ones. Or maybe Jehoda's going to be the one triggering all the cutscenes from now on. So the first round was like, hey, please go interact with everybody. And then maybe the second set are all triggered by talking to Jehoda, maybe?
3人とも自分のブースほったらかし。ブースの運営ログを紹介。分析中。結論が出ました。また
言っただろ。余分なモラなんかな。見るのもダメなのかよ。
喧嘩しないでよ。はあ、ネブ、たとえモラがあってもこの設計図はもともと危険な武器を作るためのものなんだ。あんたガラクタヒロイがまた適当なこと言ってる。はあ？魔物を空まで吹っ飛ばすのがおもちゃかよ。そもそも武器とおもちゃに本質的な。さすがボコボコ抱っこを作ったやつは言うこと。そこは重要じゃないよ。
ほら、俺もパチパチシュエーダーを作ってみたいんだ。
頭の中に新しいアイデアが浮かぶとそれを実現したくてたまらなく。
そうそう、その通り。
君が本当ありがとう。愛のはカチャカチャくるむかけ。ありがとうボス。
Yeah, but I mean, you could argue that like this is a horrible trade for her, and to be fair, it kind of is, because like the fact that she's selling blueprints means that her blueprints must actually be good. And I don't mean like the the robots themselves are good. I mean like her blueprints for themselves must be well drawn and articulated, because this is her business, right? She sells robots, she sells blueprints. The fact that people come to her must mean that they are actually done in a way that people can understand and replicate, right? Whereas this is a child who can't even make his own defense robots. Like, what are the odds his blueprints are actually, like, well drawn, you know, well measured out and drawn? Like, it could be like, it could just be crayon drawings, you know, that are just there to jot down his ideas, but are not actual blueprints that can't be used to properly construct anything, right? Like they could be just like crude drawings, and you could give them to a mechanic and they'd be like, I have no clue what any of these measurements are, what these materials are, what, you know, how to assemble it, that kind of shit, right? So like they could be bad in that sense. Now obviously she's a genius. She could take those crude drawings and then actually figure out what he's trying to do, and then make the improvements necessary to do so. Okay, so I guess Jehoda's not popping up around here again. Okay, so that doesn't mean anything. Let's see, where are you, Jehoda? Did you pop up somewhere else now? Just talking to these guys, saying? Okay. Oh, hey! Okay, so it seems like the second tier of, things will be just random people popping up again, and maybe only one appear at a time. And that is interesting too, is that so the Fatui are selling their old guns, and while the guns might be junk, right, in the sense that they are too worn down to be useful, they are still, in theory, working guns. Which means the parts in them are all still valid. So you could buy them to deconstruct them to figure out how they're designed, right? You could use them to be like, hey, cool, we're going to take these guns and figure out what the problem is. Like, either repair them, right? Because if it's just a barrel thing, you can replace the barrel pretty easily. Or at the very least, you'd know how to construct them, so you might try to replicate them yourself. It's also kind of weird, though. It's like, well, yeah, the one he had looked identical to this one. Dude, all three of them look identical. You know, like, they all look identical. In fact, the Fatui is an army, right? I would assume a lot of their guns look identical. It's like, oh yes, this is our standard rifle. We have hundreds of these, right? And these just got worn down to the point where they're now selling them for money, right? So, I mean, that might also be, might be another reason why they're fine selling them, is that even if someone did try to replicate them, they are incredibly old models. And so there's, the Fatui still have the current and improved models on hand, so they don't really need the old models and don't really care if the old models are reconstructed because they're just, not as good. So yeah, it is kind of weird, because like, they look identical. So it is kind of weird, like, hey, this looks like the gun that was used by a hero who helped fight against the Wild Hunt with the light keepers. It's like, yeah, but like, why are you trying to make it seem like they said that? And then we're like, what, you're selling a hero's weapon? It's like, it might not literally be the hero's weapon, you know? That weapon might have long since been destroyed or sold for scrap, you know? This is just, they're all the same make and model. Of course they're gonna... Now, Flynn's is special. Maybe Flynn's has sight beyond sight and is able to actually recognize that, yeah, that indeed is a unique... Is actually the one. Like, maybe it has some, like, residue. Hey! Here's the next one. I see. Okay, so that's the thing. I was kind of wondering, like, how do I trigger these things? But it seems like for the next tier of cutscenes, it only shows one. Only one of them will appear at a time, and so you just gotta, iterate through them. So we have to go to the Jehoda ones, and now we're gonna find people in front of all the other ones as well. And then I assume once I've done all the second tier of them, that final one that shows completely locked will finally appear. I assume it's going to be another Jehoda one saying, hey, now that we've resolved everything, maybe some sort of like recap, maybe a party or something.
最初はニューウェーブ文集でかのスタイリッシュ財遁等のユーモアと知恵に触れたんだ。その後メロピデ要塞でお前たちの活躍に俺は次第に夢中になっていった。だからなどくらいで
Yeah, was she the one? Did we meet her in Fontaine? It's been so long since Fontaine, because that's where we met the Fruity Order. Is that there was a house? There was a house kind of in the middle of nowhere, where someone was like kept themselves locked inside the house because they were like hiding from somebody. So maybe she was the assassin that was trying to hunt the guy who was hiding in the house down. And then we befriended her, and there's a world quest around it. I think this might be it, but I also can't really remember.
秩序のフルーツ団はここ数年の見本市への出展権を連続で勝ち取ってきた。今年は衝突を避け、他の参加希望者たちが参加権を争おうとした時、報道団のブースが
それなのに誰も俺に絡んでこない。ってことは俺も入らせ。
見本市が終わったらナシャタウンの港まで来なさい。
Also, if she's from the Fruity Order, then why is a calla lily considered part of that, right? Blackberry makes sense because it's a sweet fruit, but calla lily is a flower, which I don't know if it's sweet. Maybe it is. Maybe it has a lot of nectar or something in it.
これまでいろいろとお付き合いさせてもらったから、ボイに報道団の他の連中は秩序のフルーツ団が片付け。でも報道団には往生際のある連中が5万といる。私たちが手強いと分かった以上、今度はせいぜい。
あたいのところの面倒ごともこいつの。
I mean, to be fair though, like, you say that. Oh hey, Parka. You say that. Surprised he's not at the place getting some more wine, but again, I guess his own wine. But yeah, he's responsible for more than one conflict. I mean, sure, he claims to be one of them, right? But like he said, supposedly he did win the rights. Like once they backed out, this guy came in and won the rights. Now I don't know if he explicitly said during that competition that yes, I'm part of the Fruity Order, and so people backed down because of that, or if he honestly did win the rights, then came in and then started declaring himself part of the Fruity Order. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Hard to say the exact order of things, because like what she said was basically, yeah, there's a bunch of sore losers. So it seems like the very fact that he won, regardless of his group, it could be that regardless of the group, the sore losers would still have tried to, be dicks about it and try to raise trouble.
悪くない。ようお前ら。ただブラッと見て回るつもりだったんだが、思いがけモンドから遠く離れた地で
モンド産のリンゴを味わうのは簡単じゃない。
お客さん、念のため、こちらのリンゴのお値段はモンドにいた時とは違うっすよ。
ああ、もちろん分かってる。故郷
全部って、あ、そういえばファルカ、故郷の味といえば
味見はした。確かにどのみち俺は一応セピロ。
それもそうだな。じゃあ
暇な時にでも騎士団の駐屯地へ遊びに来い。このリンゴがあれば騎士たちがアップルサイダーを作る。
さすがセピロス騎士だ。
Whoops, I think I skipped through all this. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, I see. So basically, it's a dude who's selling wine as Mondstadt wine, even though it's not. So it's like bootleg hooch, right? He's figured out how to make Mondstadt wine, but not in Mondstadt. And so it's not as good because it might be using old materials or not using the same materials at all. But he didn't say it's pretty good, so it's not like it's super bad. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's like, you're the Order of Knights Favonius, a Mondstadt group. Like, it's not your place to come to another country and then start, upholding your own sense of justice there.
いつも損ばかりしてるみたいな言い方やめてくださいよ。でもこんなにスネージナヤに行こうと思ってます。
Yeah, it's not surprising. Obviously, we are kind of getting close to the end of. Actually, I don't know. Are we in like 6 or 7.4? Is that where we are? The 0.4 patch. So, I think we're getting a new. I think this Friday we're getting a new announcement for the next patch. So it does seem to be. Interestingly, the screenshot they used for the promotional thing. Oh, hey, it's Luke. The promotional thing they used had Nahida and Doctore, so Doctore apparently didn't die, which kind of makes sense to a degree, because while we did defeat him, and while Doctore did supposedly trade all his clones for the Gnosis, Nahida was like, okay, well, if you get rid of all your clones, then I'll give you the Gnosis. He might have done that, right? He might have removed all current clones at the time, but he also could have made a few more since then, right? It's not like Nahida said never make clones again. She just said dissolve all your get rid of all your clones. And I'm not even sure how he made them. Like he could be duplicating his data from the Irminsul. So basically the Irminsul thinks there's just multiple of him alive because he just copied his data. And so he just said, okay, well, I'm going to remove all the copies then and keep one copy. But it could be that after he did that, he just started making copies again, right? I don't think he's like tricking Nahida, like lying to her. I do think Nahida didn't really explicitly say don't make it anymore. She just said get rid of all your copies. So it also could be, or maybe he was honorable, and maybe the way he was doing it was through copying the data from the Irminsul, and maybe he had other methods of copying himself. And so he deleted all the copies he made using the Irminsul, but the copies made through other methods are still alive, right? So it could be that's how he's still alive. It could be that maybe his physical body is destroyed, and what we have to fight is some sort of like spirit or mental body. Because like Nahida appearing does kind of make it seem it could be a more fight. Like maybe we fight in the Irminsul. Like maybe Doctore still lives in the Irminsul, just not in reality, and we have to dive into the Irminsul to expunge him from it.
分かっている。だから翔くん。
久しぶりだね。今回は暁ワイナリーの主人として来た。
たとえ洋服郎としてであっても。
分かってるさ。ここ数年、あんたとの取引じゃ ずいぶんいい思いをさせてもらった。などくらいには自分の考えを全員に押し付けられ、私がこの人に自称暁ワイナリーのお酒を売らせ。
なるほど。これはうちのワイナリーの酒じゃない。ワイナリーの醸造技術を学び、などくらいの原料を使って作ったんだろ。そんな模造品。
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. The reason why him smuggling it is a problem is that if he actually stealing their wine, right, and able to bring it here through shady means, and thus able to sell it at a cheaper price. So when DeLuke and the Dawn Winery export their goods, since they have to go through above ground means, they have tariffs and taxes and stuff as they get their shit out there. So let's just say all that ends up being a 10% markup. Probably more, but let's just say 10%, right? So he then goes in and sells their, let's say it's $100, right? $100 bottle of wine, and there's $10 worth of tariffs, and maybe another $10 worth of fees, like actual like exporting fee. So those 10% is just purely the tariffs, the taxes, and then another 10% for the shipping costs and all that stuff. So it costs. So this $100 bottle of wine would cost 120, and then maybe they sell for 125 to get a little bit of profit, right? Because why the fuck would you do it for no profit? Well, let's say this guy, using shady means, is able to not pay that $10 in tariffs because they avoid all the known ports and they smuggle. So now, the only thing they have to pay for is the same shipping costs of $10. So now they could charge $115 to get that $5 profit. And now they're selling it for $10 cheaper because they don't have to pay the tariffs and shit. So they would be able to sell at a cheaper price than Dawn Winery because of their shady methods, and that would actually affect their business. Now, what this guy's doing is not that. And so the reason what he's doing is it's obviously bullshit, because what makes it Dawn Winery wine is the materials used to make it and the techniques, right? And he only has the techniques, and the materials are just widely different.
率直に言って、君が作った酒は味わう価値がある。だが、君はそれを君の醸造技術が
もう行くのかい？古い馴染みの二人も一緒に。
I mean, true.
自分の館でお茶でも。
It is to a degree. Obviously, he could just be using this to get. You say that, but like the idea is that he eventually could make his own variety, right? He could just be using this to get business and get reputation, and then he then creates a new wine product that he can then call his own and build from there, right? To be like, oh, okay, now I've used your techniques, and now I've gotten the reputation, so the people who liked this one will now have my new product and still like it.
お茶は遠慮しておく。今度モンドに戻った時はエンジェルズ。
Ah, here's this one. Oh, so Lolly's here too.
シトラリ、ここの売り手は保護下にあるらしい。直接手を出せば余計なトラブルを招くぞ。
何？私の手。
グラスバーバー。
チャスカとシトラリじゃない。
話せば長くなる。少し前、火翼の集いの者がなどくらい。これはただごとじゃない。だから状況確認と。
それは依頼を受けて、そういう。何？私を止める気っち。いくら君でも。これってただの大礼の柱のかけらじゃない。とっくに冷静は失われてるし、もう大礼。
大体一つ。大抵のよそ者はナタの大礼について中途半端な知識しか持っていません。大礼の柱を見るですから、あえて訂正せず。
あ、そう。まあ。
It depends, right? Like, as long as he's not breaking off fragments of the pillar himself, because that's the problem. Is that when people find out that that these fragments sell for so much, people then might start actually breaking the fragments off. That's where the problem really comes in. So as long as he's not doing it, it's not inherently a problem, but it could lead more greedy people to actually start. It's not something you should be encouraging, because if once people realize there's a market for that, people might start trying to create the fragments to then sell using the active pillars. I see. That's what those are. But, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not even sure what the way up fragments... Like, the way up pillars are made... Like, the fact that there's, like... Like, did people craft the way... Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That Alice would appear. We already knew that Alice has a connection with... Well, we knew Alice had a connection with Dory, regardless. But we did just get reminded of it with the Oasis machine.
その逆よ。少し前にニコがすっごく面白い値段設定の方法を思いつどんな気になる？じゃあ商品の価格を具体的なモラの額で示す。肝心なのは買い手が裕福である必要はないってこと。優れた品性さえ示せば魔女界から宝物冒険者が自らの冒険よくありませんな。今回通り、贈り物を受け取った人は問題は物がでも売れたものとそれにまつわる物語はとっても面白かったと思わない？まあやっぱり大魔女アリス様はさ
Oh, okay, so this is the... That was all of them. Now it's just the final one, which I was right. It seems to be a... Oh, there she is. A Jehoda, maybe wrap-up one, maybe with everybody. We'll see.
あんたたちが手伝ってくれたおかげだよ。
すみません。こっちで
私の方もで。言わなきゃよかった。
後払いってことで大量の品物をツケで買った人がいたんすよ。どうせ紹介の担保があるしって気にしてなかったんすけど、さっき監禁に行ったらできなかった。私の方も後払い？それは出店者向けのサービスだよ。紹介の倉庫に預けてもらってる品物が担保に。でも確かに相手は紹介のってことは品物を受け取っておきながら。確か相手は背の高い痩せたこっちは小太りの人でしたけど、それちょっと待てよ。ヤホダお姉ちゃん大変だ。ハティが町へ行ったんだけど急に連絡。何？具体的にどう？ハティお兄ちゃん日本一でみんなにすごくお世話になったか。ちょっと待て。紹介からの出店証明書は書類も請求書も全部。しまった。ヤホダ多分この前アティたちを狙ってた連中がアティをさ。ごめんなさい。お前らのせい。先にアティを助けるか。でもなどくらいはこんな。でもネフェル姉さんには書ガラクタ拾い本当にもう後がないみたいだね。
Actually, I think I'm just gonna... I didn't realize this was gonna be this involved, so I don't think I'm gonna continue this because I've already been walking for quite a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here and just quit the game. Which should should undo this quest acceptance and put me just in front of it. So tomorrow I will continue with this quest and then do actually some of the mini games. I completely forgot about these little side events. I also didn't realize how long they would take. I'm actually pretty pleased with how they've done this. As I said, the Genshin is incredibly good at making an immersive world and continuing to tie in all aspects of the world into, like, to make it feel like a lived-in world, where it's like, yeah, you go to a new area, hey, just because you went to a new area doesn't mean they've abandoned the old area. It's like, no, like, I mean, Lieben just continuing to pop up. You know, we have Natlan representation, Mondstadt representation, Leeway as well. Actually, really, every single country, right? We have someone from Fontaine, we have Navia from Fontaine, we have Beto from Leeway, we have, the fake Mondstadt wine guy to bring up Mondstadt, which Diluc and Varga did pop up from Mondstadt. We had Natlan the Netline representation, and Sitlali and Chaska who popped up. And the only one who actually didn't appear is Inazuma. We don't have an Inazuman at this location, which is a little disappointing. I don't know. I don't know if it's a political thing, because I do know that, like, from what I hear, Honkai Star Rail had an issue like that because of the comments Japan made. China was like, "Well, fuck you guys." Then we're just gonna ban Japan. Then, you know, stupid political bullshit, which ended up supposedly impacting the next, because like it seemed like we were going to go to a more Japanese themed area in Honkai Star Rail, and then they made it seem like they had to change everything, and they delayed the patch so they could swap over to Ahatopia. I don't know if that's actually the case. Maybe Ahatopia was always going to be the case, although maybe it was more Japan. Maybe it was more Japan themed, and they had to tone down some of that. Hard to say. So I don't know if maybe that's why Inazuma's not here, because Inazuma is obviously Japan, right? Liyue is China, Inazuma is Japan, Mondstadt is basically Europe, or like Western European country. Fontaine is France. Like, you could maybe argue Mondstadt is kind of like Germany, or maybe one of the Scandinavian countries, perhaps. Sumer is obviously kind of like India. Oh yeah, do we have Sumer? Oh yeah, we had Sumer. We had Sumer in Nef, and Ati, and the group of children and the adult as the Sumerian aspect of it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I will be on later tonight. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, it's really tough. I kind of want to go back into Disco Elysium. I did start my playthrough. I did start a playthrough of it. Because I saw that it was relatively quick to finish, and so rather than continuing like Celasta or Rogue Trader, which is going to take like 20, 30, well, not even that, like 50 to 100 hours to complete, I could do a quick little like 30-hour Disco Elysium. So I might go into Disco Elysium. I might go into Final Fantasy 14. Like, I still have like, there's the Alliance raid. The weekly the reset happened, so I can do the Alliance raid. I just need to get back into PvP. I haven't even done a single PvP since then, so I need to actually start working on that again more reliably. So I might pop in and do that instead, or I might do Disco Elysium. I don't know. I might do a bit of both. I don't know. I have some grinds to do too. I still have my Fisher and Botanist to finish up for my crafting relics, and then I'll be done. Completely done with my crafting relics, gathering relics. I've already done my crafting relics. I've already done minor too, so I just have 2 gathering relics to be, and then I'm done for this current tier. And then the only thing left will be the final tier, which is actually crazy because like I've never really done gathering and crafting relics this consistently. Usually I usually start it out and get like halfway done, or maybe a third of the way done, and then it starts needing expert recipes and like the best of the best gear, and like I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just like, and like then they just keep producing more steps, and then once you fall behind, you're just like, I just don't feel like doing it. I'll just wait till the next patch comes out. My level increases and I get better gear, and I can just go back and just absolutely demolish it. But the way they've designed it is that it's actually not that hard to do the crafting stuff. It's actually not that hard to do. Like, you don't need to do expert recipes. You get some. There are some bonus rewards for doing it. Like, there are some like scripts you can get. That you can get a mount, which I think is a really cool way of doing it. And you still do, if you do want the mount, you still do need 500,000 points. And so I assume the best way to get those points is doing expert recipes. And so yeah, like the most efficient way of doing it would be doing it that way. Or if you want to be lazy, you could just grind out the lower tier stuff over and over again because like there are easy macros to do those. So yeah, and the fact that you don't need materials is super cool. Like, that's what sucked about the diadem, is that you just needed so many materials to make stuff. Like every single recipe needed like, oh, you need these 4 materials and you need 10 of each. And so it's like, if you want to make that, you need like stacks of, 1,000 stacks of a bunch of shit to make a ton of stuff to farm points. Whereas this one's like, no, you just accept it, you get the materials you need, and you can just focus on the crafting part, which I think is really cool. So, but yeah, this is the first time I've actually like kept up with the gathering and crafting relics, because it's not actually that hard to get the relic, and they just added extra bonus stuff that, hey, if you want to do some extra bonus stuff, we have some extra bonus stuff to do. And it's not directly related to the crafting relic, so we don't have to make the crafting relic artificially hard with expert recipes and shit like that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.